Yeah, it's good to see you again. Taking over a very heritaged business like Tech Mahindra that's been doing things its own way for many years. But this is a time of huge change in our industry, right? And it seems like a huge challenge. So what do you think, if you just had to put it in a nutshell, what do you think you're going to bring to the table at TechM?
Yeah, so I was saying that, look, I think this is a very exciting time to be in the tech services business, and I feel that Tech Mahindra is really quite uniquely positioned, right, for a couple of reasons. One is this is a very interesting company because historically you've got part of the heritage coming in from from Mahindra British Telecom, with a focus on telecom and media and entertainment, very deep engineering skills, very deep focus on working with a select set of clients. And then you've got the heritage coming in from Satyam, right, which is about the experience and the spread across multiple industries. We've also acquired a lot of companies with specific expertise in design, for instance, right? Not too many people know that Pininfarina, the leading Italian design house, right, that has designed every single Ferrari, is actually a TechM subsidiary, right? We've got Born, which is a leading design house, and so I feel the company has a unique, set of assets and a unique set of capabilities. Uh, we are in a market that is growing. We have a set of customers who are deeply reliant on us and who really trust us. We've got an exciting set of service offerings. We have a $1 billion plus engineering business. We have a remarkably successful BPS business through the acquisitions that we've done. We've got a very healthy design and customer experience and MarTech business. So I feel very confident that, again, we can take this company forward you know in a fast growing market, right? We have to make sure I have to make sure that we're able to retain and grow our leadership position in telecom, but also in manufacturing, and then grow out a significant franchise in healthcare and in financial services. Again, given the strength of the offerings that we have, and the excellent reputation that we enjoy, I do think that this is very doable.
How do you think you're going to be able to compete at the top end of the BFS space? Do you think this is going to take time, or do you feel you can still are much faster than people expect?
Well, I honestly think it can be done quite quickly, Phil. And the reason I'm optimistic about it is because even at Infosys, right, I had actually built out that BFS business 20 or 30 fold over the past 15 years or so. So I clearly think that it is something that can be replicated again. It is an industry which is uniquely concentrated, right? It is uniquely concentrated. At the end of the day, the top 100 players in insurance and in banking make up the majority of the tech spend, and they're clearly looking for partners who bring in a level of thought leadership, who bring in a level of engineering discipline, and also people who intuitively understand the industry. Right? I think uniquely among my peers, all the CEOs of all the IT services companies, I truly, without exaggeration, understand the industry the best, both from having been a service provider to them in the past and today, and from my being on the board of an insurance company. It is a sector that I understand completely well. I know all the players. I know what people are looking for, and so I'm confident that while it will take time, I'm able to build out a very successful franchise over here. I should also mention that we're also part of a very large group, right? We're part of a Mahindra Group, which is a major buyer of financial services across the world, and that's again something that I will be looking to leverage in addition to our innate capabilities.
Yeah, we can't talk about the industry without the elephant in the room, which is the wonderful developments we've seen in AI, particularly since last November. But should we be enthusiastic or a little scared about the pace of development we're seeing there, Mohit?
So look, I think it is a very positive thing for the industry as a whole, and I would see it as a fairly significant tailwind in a couple of ways, right? So when I look at it from a tech end perspective, obviously we're looking to see how we can incorporate Gen AI into all of our service lines, right? So whether it is from a development perspective, or it is from a BPS perspective, or from a data sciences perspective. How can we bring in all the Gen AI tools into our service lines? We're also obviously working with a lot of uniquely working with a lot of the hyperscalers and the AI companies to help build out their toolkits, right? Both from an operations perspective and from an engineering perspective. Through our own research labs, we are investing in building out large language models of our own. So, for instance, we are building out the first Index Services large language model in Project Indus, which is uniquely among all the companies. So far, most of the large language models have either been in English or in Chinese or in Korean or in Arabic. We're building out the first large language model in the Indic languages. And finally, like I mentioned, because we have a large group, right? We're also looking to see how can we deploy, Gen AI and AI for Mahindra Finance. How can we be looking at building out the factory of the future, for Mahindra Auto, through incorporating, robotics and Gen AI into their auto plant in Chakan. And so, through a number of ways, we're looking to harness the power of of AI, and I do feel that it is a net positive, for our business. Clearly, it has brought the focus back completely on technology in every single large company in the world. And I do see it being a driver of tech spend over time. Clearly, we also have to be able to use the tools and the platforms to be able to drive our own productivity, both from an operations perspective and from an IT perspective. But I do feel that it will be an immensely powerful toolkit, right? See, for the longest time, I think in the industry, people have looked at Silicon Valley having some sort of magic dust, or programmers in the Bay Area being 10x or 100x. I do feel that this toolkit actually helps democratize technology as well, right? And with the large pool of talent that we have within TechM, it is an it is a significant boost from a productivity perspective, from a learning perspective.
Yeah. Do you think the current crop of service providers all have the ability to change their products and delivery models to stay ahead of this curve here? I mean, we've seen industries in the past get heavily disrupted. This feels like 1998 all over again, right? Do you think that our industry is going to come through this, or do you think there's going to be a significant sea change in who's leading the services business in the next 3 4 years?
Yeah. So look, I think in the past, whenever you've had industry shifts, right, it's because people have become complacent. And I do feel that in this industry, and certainly in tech, there is a lot of healthy paranoia about the need to constantly innovate from a service line perspective, about the need to make sure that our cost structures are on track and are competitive, and to make sure that from a customer perspective, right, we have that sponsorship, and we're able to deliver existing programs with a level of with a level of resilience and with a level of stability. And I think as long as we can be paranoid, we can stay paranoid. We have a cost structure that's fit for purpose. We have the client buy-in. We're constantly innovating from a service line perspective, and we're taking care of our employees from a lifelong learning perspective. I see no reason why this industry should become irrelevant. In fact, for the IT services industry, you know, uh, industry has always been super paranoid. People have written it off more than once, right? Whether it was post Y2K or post 9/11 or post GFC, people have always been in a rush to write off the industry. But it is an incredibly resilient industry, and from a tech end perspective, I'm very confident that the future will bring a lot of surprises, but we will be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it's created a whole new suite of opportunities and demand. I guess it's a question of being able to evolve skills and training and culture. I mean, do you think that the types of typical white collar jobs, including tech jobs, do you think they're under threat with Gen AI? Do you think that's going to be a big issue as we move forward?
Yeah. Look, I do think that again, in aggregate, right? In aggregate, this will be a plus because human wants and human needs are unending, right? So I'm sure it will create and again, it almost seems trite to say this, right? But where was the job of an influencer, 20 years ago, and where was the job of a social media expert 30 years ago, right? So it will create demands and opportunities where which we can't even imagine just now. You touched on a very important point, right? Which is the point around education, which is if we can make sure that our workforces and our populations are well prepared, we'll be fine. That's an area where we're very focused within TechM as well. I think uniquely among our peer group, we actually have a full-fledged university in the company, right? And not really an internal university, but an actual accredited university called Mahindra University over a 170-acre campus in Hyderabad. And we've got a School of Engineering in partnership with the École Centrale. We've got a School of Business in partnership with Cornell. We've got a School of Law, again in partnership with Cornell. So we're building out, the infrastructure for, the industry, for the country, and for ourselves, right? That will serve us well in the future. And as long as we're making those investments, I'm very confident that the future of white collar jobs will not be at risk. Again, it's very hard to forecast the future. I'm just reminded of this wonderful cartoon film. I don't know if you've seen it, right? It's about what we thought the future would look like and what it actually is. There was a sort of a robo maid, like Irona that you had in the Richie Rich comics, right? Cleaning up the rooms. And sort of the person was sitting there and looking at a beautiful sunset and making a painting. But here we are, where sort of the machine is making the painting, and the humans are still cleaning out the rooms, right? So it's very hard to tell which way the future will evolve. But as long as we're investing in learning, as long as we're sort of, as they say, stay hungry, stay foolish, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like someone told me that electricity was invented, but didn't really fulfill potential until the light bulb was invented. When we look at Gen AI, the cloud is like the electricity, and Gen AI is like the new light bulb. So we have to, and it could evolve and spiral a lot faster than it took other things to evolve from electricity. But we're definitely going through a shift that we haven't seen in 25 years.
It's very clear that it will be a disruptive change for the industry, and it's very clear that we need to quickly start working with clients to find solutions, right? So for instance, while the broad-based tech platforms, broad-based Gen AI platform is very useful for a range of general purpose functions, right? But when it comes to specific industry needs, for instance, the specific needs of the telecom industry or the specific needs of the financial services industry, there will be vertical specific open source AI platforms that will be created, right? And we're doing a lot of work to help co-create these with our clients, given the leadership position we have in many of these industries. And I feel that if we're able to, to do that, right, if we're able to invest ahead of the curve, it will open up a huge range of opportunities for us, right? Like I said, I don't see the demand for programming talent going down globally. As you know, there are maybe 5 to 7 million programmers across the world. I don't see that demand diminishing. But equally, with the tools that we have now with Gen AI, the productivity and the capability of those programmers is really amplified remarkably.
We've got letters as well as numbers now, right? So grammar as well as code. So things are shifting fast. So one last question. If you had one wish for this industry, this IT services industry, what would that be? If you could make one wish come true for the betterment of the space we're in.
Yeah, look, I think the thing that we want for this industry more than anything else is the creative self confidence, right? I feel that this industry has done a remarkable job in driving transformation for our clients, in driving change in their cost structures, in driving the greater digitization and automation of processes, in helping entire industries globalize, right? But effectively, that sort of that creative self confidence to go and suggest new ideas to the customer, to lead them to solutions, right? That is something that is still lacking, and that is something that I'm hoping that we can drive that that greater relevance for the industry and that greater impact for clients by just effectively being, you know having more creative confidence.
More creative confidence. That's a very pragmatic answer. Thank you. It's been wonderful getting your time today, Mohit, and seeing you doing so well and doing a lot of travel. But you're looking well. That's the main thing.
So thanks, Phil. It's always wonderful to see you. And look, thank you for all the insights that you keep providing to all of us. in the industry, and for the leadership that you yourself have taken in the Gen AI space to to articulate its impact on on clients and on the service provider industry.
Yeah, we're trying. It's a lot of stuff to take in, but we're trying very hard. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.